Everybody, and happy Saturday. It is May 9th, 2020. This is your daily collective horoscope for the weekend, May 9th and May 10th. Brian here with Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Hope you guys had a good week. Hope you guys are waking up with a bunch of energy and feeling good on this Saturday morning. Saturn Day. And Saturn is going retrograde tomorrow evening. Fun times. Anyways, we got a lot to talk about, so let's just jump into this here chart. The moon is getting to be at 20 degrees today. It'll be in the last third of Sag. So we're going to be really figuring out the grand scheme of things. I think we're going to conjunct the South Node. This is like the illusion. Are we living the illusion, or are we living what we want to live? We don't want to get caught up too much in that broader spectrum of things right now. The South Node is, of course, the illusion, and the North Node is where we need to go. So we always want to follow the North Node. So don't get caught up in maybe thinking that we have all this freedom and that things are going to get back to normal right now. I've been seeing it a little bit here and there, like things are opening back up and people are getting antsy, and might just be part of the illusion at South Node in Sag that like things are going to open back up and we're going to be able to do things like we used to, but I don't know, we'll see. I mean, North Node in Gemini is also community, so I know a lot of communities are trying to open back up and jobs are trying to get, going again, and maybe that is what we need to do, but it's tricky with that South Node in Sag because we don't want to think that we have all this, that we're not out of the clear just yet. I don't think. We'll see. Be safe out there. So, what do we want to talk about on this Saturday? We want to talk about Mercury. Mercury is squaring Mars. We know what we want. We know what we value, but we gotta put it out there. And it's gonna feel like difficult right now. It's gonna feel um, a little off maybe when it comes to getting what we want and connecting the way we want to. But we have to take action with those thoughts, and we have to go get it. If you want the reality you want, you have to go get it, and you have to build it. And you already know what you want. Mercury went over Uranus and over the Sun and in Taurus. Like, you know what you want. You know what you value. And, that's even with Neptune that's been squaring Venus forever. We know what we want. Like, we're getting all the messages we want from God. And we have to realize that, like, we have these values. We got to believe it. We can't let other people try and force us into believing their truth. Like, we got to believe our truth, you know? And you're getting all the messages you need. Like, you know what your truth is. So you got to live it. And that's like moving forward. Mars, that's the square right there. Mars is, we're coming into Pisces, and Mars doesn't really like Pisces. Mars feels a little lost in Pisces, so we're coming in like we were going forward and trying to push and kind of rebel a little bit, and now we're about to feel a little lost. Mars in Pisces is like, and it might start off okay. We're going to get the part of fortune conjunction here, which might feel like, okay, like maybe we did find our way, and things are going to feel good, but is that just an illusion in Pisces? Are we fighting for a dream, which is good? You want to fight for your dreams, but are we fighting? Then you got to decipher, like, is it a mirage? And a mirage and a dream is very similar, except dreams can come true, and a mirage can't, as the great David Palmer would say. A mirage is just a mirage. Nothing there. So we need to make sure we're fighting for the right things and taking action for the right things, because we can get a little lost if we're not Um, so take that as you will. Today's pretty chill. I mean, the moon's squaring Neptune. So emotionally, we got to take these messages we're getting, and we got to like we don't want to block out the messages we're supposed to get, like those messages and those synchronicities that are coming through. You know, we got to listen to those. We got to trust our intuition, or we're just gonna feel lost. You know, Neptune and Pisces is like deep spirituality, or you're lost and you're trying to figure things out, and you're maybe going down paths you shouldn't go down. So, and sad, you know, we're expanding and stuff, and you don't want to feel lost when you're expanding and growing. Like you want to be, you know, you want to feel like you're on the right path. So I think that's a big challenge for the moon today in our emotional state, is to make sure that we're on the path we desire, and we're on the path that we value, and we know what we value. We know what we value. We know what we want, but you still have to go get it, um, or else it's just gonna slip right by, and the window's getting small. Like Saturn goes retrograde tomorrow evening, and you know, I'm gonna talk about that a little more in a second, but it's starting. Like here we are. Like we've been talking, astrologers and myself. We've been talking for the last month about the retrogrades coming, and next week they are here. Like it's time, and it's not like we need to be scared of them. And my mentor was talking about the retrogrades, and I love the way he put it. And it's very much like the tide of the ocean when all the planets are direct. Tide's up, 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 and then when the retrogrades come, the tide moves back, and that's when all the little things are left on the beach, and you run out there and you start picking things up. So it's not like the retrogrades are gonna be the end all be all. Like this happens all the time. It's a normal cycle, but what this is a time to reflect on the things that we might have left behind, or we might have forgotten about, or we buried too deep. So that's why the retrogrades are a big deal. And that's why we talk about them a lot, is because we can't move forward anymore. Like we've already moved forward as far as we can go, and now it's time, literally with Saturn who rules time, it's time to go and figure out like what we missed, and like go pick up the pieces so that we can grow from everything, and then we can move forward afterwards, so that we can really get out of this like interesting situation we're in as a collective, you know? It's a interesting time. Anything else I want to talk about on this while we're here? Yeah, the moon is quincunxing the sun. It just kind of came off a quincunx to the sun. We have to know what we value. We really do, on a soul level, or we're going to be in a weird place emotionally, and we're going to do things that might not feel good. So to expand and to grow right now, we have to understand that like some things could be an illusion. Maybe some things aren't serving our highest good, but we have to decipher and discern on the things that are important to us right now, and take those and really run with them. And we got to do what we want. And you know, that's another thing, is like Lilith over here is making a good aspect to the moon. It's making a trine. So also, like, it's gonna feel good for ourselves and our identity if we, you know, we do what we need to do. Like we know what we need to do. You know what you do. You're getting all the messages. All the messages are there. You just have to take action and believe that the messages are for your highest good, and try not to fight those. And they might be the hard message sometimes. Sometimes it's not always the easy thing. So, anyways, let's see if we can jump into the 10th. Here we are. This is tomorrow, Sunday, May 10th. Get back on the drawing tool. Perfect. Okay. May 10th. Moon moves in to Capricorn. Oh, yeah? Okay. The moon moves into Capricorn. So now it's about time. It's about what feels good, what's going to make us feel good and get us to our goals. What do we want to accomplish? Because we just, we scraped the bottom in Scorpio and we expanded and brought in more knowledge and learned from those emotions that got brought up with that full moon in Scorpio. And now it's about like putting these to action and to reach goals and like use all we've learned to like really go forward and figure out what we want and we want to accomplish, and what our new goals are and how we're gonna reach them and how we're gonna use this time to reflect on those emotions and really get what we want. Capricorn's about getting what you want. Um, Saturn's gonna go retrograde later today. I have a chart pulled up for that for this evening, so we'll go into that in a second. Looking at this, pulling off that square from Mars tomorrow. So it's going to feel like a release. It's going to feel like if, you felt like you couldn't take action on all the things that you value and all of the good thoughts and the way you want to communicate yourself and your love, all those Taurus-y vibes, the Venus-y vibes. Venus rules Taurus. So it's very much like a Venus vibe in Taurus. It's like slow down and find the beauty. So if you felt like you couldn't, figure out what you value and you couldn't, really put your finger on it, well, that energy is going to start breaking up. I apologize. That's actually coming, that full square is coming today. I looked at those numbers wrong. So it's not breaking up. It's about to intensify, and when that hits 28, that's when it's the full force of everything. So I apologize for that. But I'm going to keep this live stream rolling because I don't edit. I do this all live. And that's just the way it's going to be. Man. It's not like the energy's that bad this weekend. We have a lot of good aspects coming from all these Capricorn planets, that are going retrograde. Pluto's retrograde, Jupiter and Saturn, and they're all making trines over to, Mercury. It's like we totally know what we want. We know it. We can feel it. We know what we need to do. I think everybody's waking up to like how things are going to be moving forward. But if we're holding on to the way things were in the past, we're not going to be able to get there. And it comes with a challenge because everything's quincunxing the North Node. So it's going to feel like, it's really going to feel like it's awkward to take the right step and to know, like you're going to feel like you know what to do, but then it's like it feels weird because it's so different. But you have to embrace the different. If we don't embrace the different, we're not going to grow from this. So embrace the change, embrace the difference, because that's how we're going to grow. That's how we're going to pick up those seashells and move forward. Yeah, I feel like there's not like a whole bunch going on that I haven't already talked about. There is a semi-square from Chiron to Mercury. So again, it's not going to be easy to communicate this change, but we already know we need to do it. So it's like, we just have to do it. We just have to do it. You already have these things in your life that you know you need to do. Why are we not doing them? Nike, just do it, for real. Because Sunday is like the last day. Like if you feel like you have anything that's loose that needs to be tied up and just whatever it is, communicated, or you don't need this, you gotta get rid of this, keep this. Like Saturday is the day to do it, because otherwise we're going back and we're picking up the shells and we're not moving forward for a while. And it's gonna get weird, I think, on a collective standpoint, and with the way the world is right now with COVID-19 and all that, and shutdowns and lockdowns, and It's like they're already trying to set us up for a second wave. You know, I can just feel it. Like, we're, I don't know. It's just a prediction. It's just a feeling. And a lot of like my psychic awareness is very clairsentient and it's very much feeling. You know, a lot of people are clairvoyant, claircognizant, and they're all like the psychic abilities, right? And like I just feel things. Like my body vibrates, and it's a lot of times it's with the truth. So when I hear things like that, or even if I say them or they come to me, like I have to just express them because that's where that's where that's where I get these things from. So, anyways, let's look at this Saturn retrograde chart. At about 9:10, 9:11 tonight, Saturn. Let me make sure that this is all set up right because last time it wasn't. Did I do it? I did it. All right. Saturn, boom, red. That means retrograde in Aquarius. Saturn's coming back into Capricorn. Saturn's been ruling all the astrology for the last for a long time. Like I couldn't even give you an exact date. Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius, and Saturn's just been owning everything, and I think that's why we're going through so much right now is because Saturn's got Pluto and Jupiter in his sign, and Jupiter does not like Capricorn. Jupiter feels way too constricted. Jupiter's way too big to be controlled by time in Capricorn and controlled by all these just things to do in this amount of time. Like Jupiter does not like it there. And then Pluto is right there too, like saying, well, we better figure this shit out, and you're gonna have to fucking break it all down to get out of it. So it's time to realize it's just time to we're gonna have to figure these things out and figure out how we're gonna spend our time. And I don't know, man. It's gonna get weird when Saturn comes back and conjuncts Pluto again when they're retrograded. Interesting times, to say the least. This is when we get, right when that goes retrograde, of course Mars and Mercury are going to do their exact square, which I kind of butchered in the last little part, and I apologize for that. But this is where we get that square, and it's just all the pressure. So it's heavy pressure today with the retrograde and with this square. Like we're going to feel so just like we just can't have what we want. It's going to be a weird Sunday evening. I wouldn't be surprised if the news just got weird. There's so many, our moon is squaring Chiron at this point in Capricorn. There's just a lot. There's a lot going on Sunday. We're going to come into next week feeling weird. It's just, don't be surprised if the news is just saying some shit. And then the moon's also getting stressed on a Ceci square over to Mercury. What a night Sunday is going to be. Like, just what a night to kick off the retrogrades. It's just all these little semi-squares and Ceci squares, and everything's just... Uranus is getting that semi-square over to Venus. I mean, it's really like gonna feel hard to have just our love and our value and communicating, especially communicating. We got to be gentle with each other and ourselves. Like we can't start putting people down for having different beliefs. We really got to uplift people, or we're just gonna get stuck in this trap. And I don't want to see anybody get stuck in any traps. So just we got to remember to fall back on love, and that's the thing with Venus right now, and it's getting all this pressure with the square to Neptune and with the semi-square to Uranus. Like we just have to be. It's gonna feel like we can't be our unique self, and we can't express our unique self and what our unique values are, and it's And we can overcome all this stuff. Like, we just got to pump the brakes. That's what, like, the squares are. They're that hard angle. So, if you're coming into a turn in a car and you have a right angle, you can't just hit it full speed. Like, you got to come in, pump the brakes, and take it nice and slow. And that's what the squares are. When challenges arise, you just got to pump the brakes and just go with the flow into the turn, and like figure it out, and not get angry. Try not to get angry and upset with people, or yourself right now. We just got to go with the flow, and we're going to get through this. So I hope this is helpful. It's kind of a long video. This is when things heat up. So be ready for some heat. Be ready for some more growth, some more evolution. That's what we're doing here. We're evolving. Big time for humanity. And, we're going to be all right. We're going to be okay. Every one of us. As long as you believe you're going to be okay and you're living in a high vibration, you're living in love, you're going to be just fine. So don't be scared. Just love and be happy, and go with the flow, because right now that's that Neptune in Pisces. Like, it's going to feel weird. It's getting weird at the 20 degree, and it's just weird. Things are weird. Things don't even feel real. And that's okay. But we can get through it because we're strong. We're creators. We're all co-creators. So just don't get lost in the illusion and in the game out there, because they're going to try and get you. Let's pull a card for the day. The Eight of Coins, upright. This is another one of those, like, we got to build the reality we want. We got to build the physical reality we want, and we got to craft it, and we can't be scared. Can't be scared to build and create right now. We got to do something for our own. We got to create something on our own, and it's going to give us such a reward, because right now it's like you can't rely on that job that you might have had anymore. Like, they're talking about maybe opening up small businesses, but I wouldn't get your hopes too high with that yet. Like, that's part of this deception. Like, honestly, you've got to figure out a way to adapt and create a new reality for yourself. Otherwise, I don't know, it just doesn't look good. But like the castles in the background, in that window, like, if you create something that you love and you build something you love, like, it's going to put you into a castle. And it's going to make you feel so good. So I think we just have to adapt and evolve, because we can build what we want. But you just have to want it. You have to put the work in. And it's going to be difficult right now with these retrogrades. But maybe when you go back and pick up those shelves for these retrogrades, maybe you'll realize that you do have all the strength you need to build what you want moving forward. I love you all. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and you made it this far, please subscribe, like, share, comment down below. I love talking with you all. Hit me up on Facebook, Fixed Air Moon, or Brian Scarborough. Twitter, Fixed Air Moon. Instagram, Fixed Air Moon. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. I will see you Monday.